It's your boy D Nuts Ball back with another video. Say, man, I've been thinking about the Dallas Mavericks and Cooper Flagg. It's All-Star break, and I'm a Dallas, Texas native, Mavericks fan, Cooper Flagg fan, and I just been thinking, man, the Mavericks got a hit in the 2026 NBA draft. It's shaping up to be a generational class. Since I've been watching college basketball, literally watching college basketball closely, I started in 2005. Kevin Durant years at the University of Texas. And this is the most talented group of freshmen in college basketball that I've ever seen in my 21 years of watching college basketball consistently. And I don't say that lightly. And as a Mavericks fan, post Luca, because everybody was saying how crazy the Luca trade was, I still think it's a conspiracy theory about, hey, we want Luca in LA, we'll give y'all Cooper Flag. And I still think that's kind of what happened. That's why the trade package was so terrible. And I I I think he did it. I think Cooper Flag has successfully replaced Luka Doncic. Y'all let me know in the comments. If you're the Dallas Mavericks, you're a Dallas Maverick fan, are you happy with what you have in Cooper Flag over Luka Doncic? Let me know in the comments. But me personally, as a Dallas fan, I think Cooper Flag has successfully replace Luca because the effort he plays with, the two-way impact, the ability to carry the team. He just had a 4-game stretch. I think it was Hornets, San Antonio, Houston, and Boston. I don't know exactly the order, but I remember it was those 4 teams. Well, he was averaging like 38 a game. And that was so eye-opening because Cooper Flag, he was more of a defense first prospect, and he was gonna have to slowly learn the offense. Dude can play offense, bro. He can carry a game. The Hornets game, he was a slight mistake away from having one of the best performances of the season. Yeah, I said it. That Hornets performance was just absolutely amazing. He's backpacking teams. Like he's backpacking the Dallas Mavericks at a lot of times. And he's played in a lot of primetime games. Because you got to understand, the Mavericks were expected to have Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, and Cooper Flag. So it's been a lot of ABC games. He even played on Christmas. He's playing on ESPN all the time. And bro, you look at that roster, it's just not that great. It's not that great, especially after the AD trade and when Kyrie Irving's not playing. I think Najee Marshall has been impressive. Max Christie has been pretty good, but no Derek Lively, no Anthony Davis now that he's traded, no Kyrie Irving. Cooper Flag has looked amazing, bro, on both ends. And I think he just turned 19. He was supposed to be in the 2026 class. And a lot of people saying he ducked that class. He still go number 1. Yes, over Darren Peterson. Yes, over AJ. He just he's just better. He's just a better prospect. He's a better player. And when it comes to Darren Peterson might be a better talent, more polished, more well equipped to score right off the bat. But everybody question like I don't know if he wants to play basketball. He probably would fit in the NBA. But Cooper Flag, if I'm looking at now, you're in a full rebuild, and you the Dallas Mavericks. You have Cooper Flag, two-way impact, and he doesn't even really have a comp. If I had to comp Cooper Flag to anyone, it would kind of have to be like an impact comparison, not a game comparison, because he's a unique player. But impact comparison, I had to compare him to Toronto Kawhi. Impact, like he can reach that level of impact, like on both ends of the court. I could be the best player in the game at any given moment. 6'9", crazy wingspan, crazy athleticism. That's why I can't compare his game to Kawhi, but his impact, I can compare his impact to Kawhi. He likes to get to the rim more than Kawhi, and I think he's more athletically gifted in certain areas in terms of agility. But yeah, let's look at this Dallas Mavericks core young guy roster going forward if you're talking about a rebuild. Of course, it starts with Cooper Flagg. I think he's could be a superstar on both ends of the court. And I think this is probably like I'm gonna say after his year 2 or 3, after that, you won't have a bad Cooper Flagg led team. I think he's too good. He's like a Jokic, he's like a Luka. If you put him on a team, a LeBron James, the team is automatically gonna probably make the playoffs. He's one of those guys. He's too good. So the Mavericks, you got him, you got Derek Lively. Derek Lively has to stay healthy, but Derek Lively as a rim protector, rim runner, lob threat, his playmaking still could be unlocked. His shooting, in my opinion, still can be unlocked. If you go back and watch Derek Lively highlights in high school, dude could shoot, he could pass, he could do everything. I still think he needs to be unlocked offensively. Give him a little bit more. I think with this being a rebuild situation now, we'll be able to see what Derek Lively can do more offensively. Let him be unlocked more. And that's what we need to do. Come on, Jason Kidd. Go watch some over him. You got to unlock Derek Lively. I like Max Christie. Max Christie is shooting like 48 from the field, 43 from three. He's giving you about 13 points, some good defense. I think he's a perfect, like, fourth option type of guy, like movement shooter, attack closeouts. Could be good in transition. He just won't mess up the game. So I really like Max Christie. So those three guys right there is three guys that I feel like you can build around. Love Najee Marshall. Don't know if you're going to keep him. Love PJ. Don't know if you're going to keep him. But those are good pieces if you do decide to keep him. Brandon Williams has looked pretty good, so he could be a solid guy. So is Ryan Nimhard. Solid rotational guys. Play them in spot minutes in certain situations. Like those guys. But the 2026 draft. Now, let's focus on the 2026 draft. I think the Dallas Mavericks, they're going to have a lottery pick. But there's no pick in 27 for the Mavericks as currently speaking. And in 28 and 29, you have weird swap situations. So you have to hit in 2026. This draft you have to hit. And I think you have to get a dynamic guard. You got to kind of prioritize who do you think could be a second option going forward next to Cooper Flagg? Who do you think could take the ball handling responsibilities off of a Cooper Flagg? Because I'm pretty sure you should trade Kyrie, or Kyrie won't stay that long. He's a little older. And I'll try to get a first round at 27, a first round pick in 27 for Kyrie if I can. But yeah, I narrowed it down to three prospects. Is an honorable mention. Let's get the honorable mention out the way. I think Keaton Wagler. Let's talk about Keaton Wagler. I think it's Wagler from Illinois. I think he's a 6'6" combo guard prospect. He done had I think, what was that, a 49, 455? He had a crazy scoring game. I don't even remember the number, but he absolutely has been on the heater. And I kind of want to talk about his game. I I personally see Keaton Wagler as a Kevin Martin type of player. If you don't know who Kevin Martin is, do your Googles. But I see him like that. I think he's a shooter first, scorer second, playmaker third, but I don't think he has the best handle. I think he could be an off-ball weapon. I think he can be on ball at times. I see him as a really good third scorer in the NBA, but I don't see him as a point guard. So I don't really want him on the Dallas Mavericks, especially the point guard class is so deep. That's the only reason. I'm not saying Wagler's not a good. I'm not saying he even wouldn't be a good fit, but I just think as a point guard prospect, I'm not sure because I don't think the handle is there defensively. Yeah, athleticism is kind of cheeks. His Keaton Wagler's athleticism is kind of terrible. So he's an honorable mention. I wouldn't be horrified if the Mavericks end up getting him, but I'm just slightly more skeptical of his game, especially the athleticism and the point guard ability to play that position consistently. Next, this is a serious consideration right here. Kingston Flemings from Houston. And he's a Texas native. I think he's from Houston, if I'm not mistaken. He's from Texas somewhere. I really like Kingston Flemings. Here's some of his pros. I think he's elite in the mid range. He has great burst. He's a pretty good shooter, solid defender on and off of the ball. His scoring is really good. That mid range is deadly. He plays really good in big games. So I really like Kingston Flemings. He has big games against the big teams and competitive teams. So I think that's a plus for Kingston Flemings. But my biggest concerns will be his playmaking. I don't think he's a great playmaker. And I kind of want a great playmaker next to Cooper Flagg. But I will say this. He's the best fit next to Cooper Flagg when it comes to how he approaches the game. He really wants to win. I think in crunch time, I think he'd probably be one of the better guys in terms of I would be okay with him handling the ball, him shooting the ball next to Cooper Flagg. I think he has the highest ceiling as a second option. People are comparing him to De'Aaron Fox. I kind of like that comparison, but I think he's better offensively in terms of shooting the basketball than De'Aaron Fox. And I think he's a slightly worse athlete than De'Aaron Fox in terms of speed and athleticism. So take that as you may. So Kingston Flemings, and I'm gonna go get to who I would pick at the end. But Kingston Flemings, those are some of his pros and cons. Elite in the mid range, great burst, good shooter, solid defender on and off the ball. My biggest concern is his playmaking. Okay, the next guard prospect that I really fell in love with from a young age in terms of his game, Mikel Brown Jr. from Louisville. Now, if you profile Mikel Brown Jr., dude has an elite track record of being a top prospect. I think he should have won that FIBA MVP over AJ DeBouncer. He had all those great players next to him. He was clearly the best player. Like he's just a dynamic guard prospect. And if you would talk about his pros, the highlight tape just the film just pops. His film, he has the most poppy film out of all the guard prospects in terms of he has a creative handle. The handle is very creative. The size, the athleticism, the combination of all those things, getting to the rim, being an explosive scorer at times. Mikel Brown checks every box. The thing about Mikel Brown is the cons. I'll say the injury history in college and the streaky shooting. What I worry about with Mikel Brown is can he be a consistent, really good scorer as a second option, or will he be streaky? When I look at him, I look at like an Anthony Simons. It's like when it looks good, it looks amazing. But when it doesn't, it's kind of like, eh. And then the defense is kind of like, eh. I don't want to cone next to Cooper Flagg. That's another thing. His fit next to Cooper Flagg could be the highest boomer bust scenario. He could be a perennial all-star next to Cooper Flagg, getting you 26-5. But my thing is, will he do that night in, night out? That's my biggest question with Mikel Brown. Will his body hold up? Will he be a cone defensively? So I don't know. I think he has the highest ceiling and potential. I think he does have a higher ceiling and potential as a playmaker and than a Kingston Flemings, just because his creativity with his handle. He has the best handle out of all these guys. So yeah, that's Mikel Brown. Those are his strengths, his weaknesses. I think his creativity, ball handling, playmaking, size, speed, agility. I think all that could pop next to Cooper Flagg. But then at the same time, his cons, yeah, hey man, he could be, you know what I'm saying, just a streaky scorer. So yeah, he's shooting like 34% from three. And you compare that to a Kingston Flemings who is shooting like amazing 50 from the field, 39 from three. So, yeah, that's that. Okay, the third and final serious prospect, in my opinion, would be Daryus Akuff Jr., freshman from Arkansas. And Kingston Flemings is 6'4". Mikel Brown is listed as 6'5". So, those are the heights there. And I think Keaton Wagler is 6'6". Daryus Akuff, third and final prospect that I'm seriously looking at for the Dallas Mavericks. Say, man, I love everything about Daryus Akuff. Shout out Fuddy. We've been kind of going back and forth between Daryus Akuff and Kingston Flemings. He's on the Daryus Akuff train, and I'm kind of leaning right now towards the Flemings train. But Daryus Akuff, the pros and cons for him. Let me start with the pros. Elite track record. Played for IMG, just like Jaden Bradley, just like Keontae George. Had great success over there. Elite track record in terms of a prospect. Been knowing about him for years and years and years. So he's always been one of those guys. Now, you look at the Kingston Flemings, he was a solid prospect. You look at Keaton Wagler, he was a little on the lower side, so they kind of came out of nowhere. Daryus Akuff and Mikel Brown Jr., we've been knowing about these guys since just like we've been knowing about AJ and Darren Peterson. They've been all right there. So Akuff has an elite track record as a prospect, elite production going all the way back to high school. I just think he's just very, you know what you're getting out of Daryus Akuff night in, night out. He's gonna get you his 20 points. He's gonna get you those 6 assists. I think he has the best NBA ready body. He's strong. He's tough. He has an even keel temperament in his approach to the game. He's a good shooter. He's a good finisher. He's a good playmaker. He's a good solid defender. I think he's good at everything. So those are the pros. You know exactly what you're going to get out of Daryus Akuff. He's good at pretty much everything. Now, here are some of the cons with Daryus Akuff. What is he great at? I don't think I have an answer to that. I guess you could say he's great at being consistent. But other than that, I don't know where his game could pop on the NBA level to where it's like, you know, out of all the guys named, I think he's the least likely to be a consistent second option. Maybe third or fourth, be a very solid starter. But I worry about how good Daryus Akuff could be in terms of his ceiling. I don't know if he could get you. Do you look at Daryus Akuff and be like, oh yeah, he can give me 22, 6, and 5? I don't know. I think he could most likely be like a 15, 5, and 4 guy, like a really solid starter, not going to mess things up. But I think with this Mavericks situation, I think you got to go towards the poppy scorer. So Daryus Akuff is no knock on him. I really love him as a player. But just next to Cooper Flagg, is he going to be great off the ball? Is he going to be great in catching situations? Will he be a great defender, solid defender enough next to a Cooper Flagg, especially in this draft? Would you take him over some of these other guys who I think have higher ceilings? I think he has the second highest floor next to Kingston Flemings, but he has the lowest ceiling, if that makes sense. So that's how I feel about Daryus Akuff. And I guess now that I'm going about it, because you look at Daryus Akuff, 50% from the field, 43 from 3, 21 a game, 6 assists a game. I do think he probably is the best, I'm going to say most consistent playmaker, because I still like Mikel Brown Jr. as a playmaker more than Akuff. But like I said, Daryus Akuff is more consistent than all of these guys in terms of night in, night out, what you're going to get. Outside, maybe Kingston Flemings is more consistent. Maybe. But even he just went on like a slump in terms of his shooting. Daryus Akuff has been pretty solid all year round. So I'll say Daryus Akuff is more consistent. Now, I guess the final verdict, man, me personally, the final verdict is between Mikel Brown Jr. and Kingston Flemings. The thing is with Mikel Brown, if I'm just trusting the track record, I'm going Kingston Flemings. Kingston Flemings, I think he's going to be the most solid. I think he's the best fit next to Cooper Flagg in terms of attitude and mentality. It'll be hard to pass on Mikel Brown Jr. though. But y'all let me know in the comments who's the perfect fit next to Cooper Flagg in the 2026 draft. Who do you think is the most? Yeah. Who do you think you could actually get? I did add anybody from the Big Four, but if you could add any of those guys from the Big Four, of course, that would be good for the Mavericks too. But I'm looking strictly at the guard prospects, and it's just kind of how I'm feeling. This is more of a longer video, just because I'm a Dallas Mavericks fan. I think Cooper Flagg has kind of changed the trajectory of the Mavericks. I think the Luka trade was absolutely horrific, and he kind of made it not so horrific. I think he's excelling in every area you thought he would excel in. I think his two-way impact. You could build a championship team around Cooper Flagg, and we're starting to see that. And it's just you got to build it right, especially with the lack of draft picks that the Mavericks have. And then the 26th draft is looking to be special, but you got to make the right pick. But y'all leave me in the comments. This your boy D Knows Ball. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I'm gone.
Found some shit I love to do, so I can live comfortable. Searching for a peace of mind, need that when it's time to rhyme. Perfect in every line, any chance I get, and I know it takes time, but I would never quit.